The International Woodworking Fair, or IWF, returns to Atlanta after being gone for 4 years due to COVID-19. Festool has introduced a brand new track saw. Red Rose Reproductions has introduced a couple of different sizes of very high-end dividers. Those stories and more coming up. Welcome to the Woodworking News, brought to you by WB Fine Woodworking. Yes, for those who have been around, I have a whole new setup here, but more on that later. Let's first get to the news. Rockler has recently introduced their spring-loaded, one-handed bar clamps. They are a different style of quick grip clamps. They come in two sizes, 10-inch and 6-inch. And they really snap shut. Here's a Rockler video showing these clamps in action as compared to a regular quick grip clamp. It's an interesting innovation. Check them out at a Rockler store or a Rockler online. According to Workshop News, Metabo has introduced a new circular saw, the 36-volt, 7¼ cordless rear handle circular saw. Metabo states the features of this new saw, in addition to it being cordless, are it cuts up to 500 2x4s per charge. The weight is 8.2 pounds. It runs at 5,100 RPM. With a cut capacity up to 5 layers of 1/2 and 4 layers of 5/8 OSB or plywood. It's the lightest in class, 2 pounds lighter than the leading rear handle saw. While saws like this are made mostly for construction, they can be handy around the home and shop. For more information, go to metabo.com. Also, according to Workshop News, Bora has come out with a new fixed base router, the PM6250. This router is made from durable cast aluminum, has a 3.25 horsepower, 15 amp motor, ranges from 10,000 to 22,000 RPM with an electronic speed control. The motor in the 6250 is also available separately. It's the 6200. Check out boratool.com for more information. According to Fine Woodworking magazine, Delta has introduced a new floor-standing drill press, the 18-900. The drill press's features include a 6-inch quill stroke, which is great for woodworking, a tilt table that will even go to full vertical, a depth rod for controlling the depth of your drilling, a back support fence, great for woodworking, and crosshair lasers. Go to deltamachinery.com for more information. I found a website, a concordcarpenter.com, that has information on assembly as well as a review of this drill press. You might want to check it out. Also, according to Fine Woodworking magazine, there's a new portable CNC, the Goliath. This is a self-driving CNC router that uses positioning sensors to help direct the cuts. 3 wheels allow the CNC to move freely without any interference from dados, grooves, or profiles that are already cut. It's sort of like a self-driving Shaper Origin. It comes with integrated dust collection, which is a great feature because there's no hose to worry about. There are no work area limits. You're only limited by the amount of space available. It's sort of like a router attached to a droid. The Goliath is coming soon. For more information, including videos of the Goliath in action, go to goliath.com. According to Popular Woodworking and Fine Woodworking, Festool has announced a new track saw, the TF55 FEQ-F-Plus. Don't you love how they name products? I have no idea how people keep track of which model they have. This is a new plunge cut saw they claim cuts twice as fast as the older model. It almost sounds like we're talking about computer chips instead of a saw. The new features include an ultra-thin saw blade, and easy blade changes. I wonder how much this added to the price. These are in addition to all the traditional features of Festool Track Saws. These new saws are available March 2022. Go to festoolusa.com for more information. The report in Fine Woodworking magazine mentioned another related product, the Angle Stop SFWA. The Angle Stop attaches to the Festool Track. It's for making precise, fast, angled cuts. Don't other companies already have something like this? It allows users to make cuts from minus 60 degrees to plus 60 degrees. The Angle Stop is scheduled to be available in March of 2022. Go to festoolusa.com for more information. You can also check with your local Festool dealer. Oneida Air Systems has announced a new dust deputy in addition to their original size. The new 2.5 dust deputy features improved airflow with up to 2 times that of their original size. It has 2.5-inch hose fittings. Like the original, the new 2.5 works with any shop vacuum. It also fits any airtight container in addition to those sold by Oneida. To find out more, go to oneida-air.com. I'd like to add here that I've been using 2 dust deputies in my shop since 2007. One is attached to a shop vac and the second is attached to my Festool CT22. They work great and I've never had to change a vacuum bag in 15 years. Apple Computer held their spring event, Peak Performance, on March 8, 2022. This was an event I've been anticipating for almost 2 years. At this event, they announced the new Mac Studio, which is exactly what I've been looking for in a desktop computer to replace my late 2014 iMac. Along with the Mac Studio, they announced a new monitor, the Studio Display. This monitor is a 5K display that integrates perfectly with the Mac Studio. The Mac Studio either comes with an M1 Max chip or a new M1 Ultra, which is double the Max chip. That doubling can clearly be seen in these photos of the actual chip dies. For the work that I need to do, I decided to stick with the Max chip. With my selection of this combination, a Mac Studio with the M1 Max chip and the Studio Display, I won't be wasting a lot of time seeing this beach ball while the computer is thinking. Now, before some of you comment that Apple computers are too expensive and you have a PC at home that will do a lot of things faster and better, especially gaming, just hold your breath, don't worry about it. The fact of the matter is that according to all the extensive research that I've done, this new computer system for me is the best for what I need to use it for. While another computer system might be suitable for something like gaming, I'm not a gamer. So on top of that, all of the programs or apps that I use on this computer system are Apple compatible. Most of them aren't even available on PC. The programs that I use for editing videos and the ones I use for websites, I can't get for a PC. I have to admit, I've just had the Mac Studio for a few days, but in that time, I can tell you that it's really a good system and it's going to do what I want it to do, and that's what's really important. As time goes by, I may just give you some updates of how well the system's working for me. Gary Rogowski is an outstanding woodworker, author, and teacher. For many years, he's been operating the Northwest Woodworking Studio and his School for Woodworkers in Portland, Oregon. During the recent pandemic, Gary decided to close the doors of his shop and switch solely to online classes. He's offering his online Student Mastery Program. According to Gary, this program is designed to help woodworkers discover their own talents for furniture design and construction. In his classes, students learn the traditions and skills of design and fine furniture making. Request a prospectus on this online mastery program at northwestwoodworkingschool.com. I've had the opportunity to see Gary in person, and I can vouch for the fact he's a good teacher and a good woodworker. The International Woodworking Fair, or IWF, will be held in Atlanta from August 23rd through the 26th, 2022. I personally can't understand why they'd have such a conference at Atlanta in August. The heat and humidity are terrible then. I guess maybe it's all indoors so they have air conditioning. The IWF features thousands of square feet of display space for all kinds of woodworking machines, tools, and products. The fair features a wide range of supplies, machines large and small, and services that are related to woodworking and woodworking businesses. As part of IWF each year, they hold a student design showcase. This is meant to encourage students to get involved in woodworking. Attendees are often amazed at what the students create. At the IWF each year, they also award the Challengers Award. The IWF Challengers Distinguished Achievement Award has become known throughout the world, recognizing outstanding companies who have distinguished themselves by developing innovative technology in products, services, or manufacturing techniques that will advance the industry. The IWF is also well known for its educational seminars. According to the IWF, taught by subject matter experts from within the woodworking industry, IWF community, and IWF exhibitors, the education courses at IWF 2022 will give you practical, relevant business skills you can put into action immediately. Obviously, most of these don't relate to the average woodworker, though. In fact, much of what is at IWF doesn't relate to those of us who work in our garages to create projects with wood. But there are some products at IWF we might be interested in. They're more representative of what we would have with our shops. Obviously, this isn't one of those. It's a matter of where you are in your shop setup. Are you new and want to see what's available? Are you thinking of upgrading some of your equipment and machines? Are you possibly contemplating turning your hobby into a business? Those may be reasons for you to attend a show like IWF, especially if you live close to Atlanta. Lee Valley has introduced their new Delphin knives. They come in 3 different designs: the 03 utility knife, the 2004 snap-off blade knife, and the 2013 retractable knife. These utility knives have cast aluminum hinged bodies that allow for tool-free blade changes. Each knife comes with a holster with a clip. The knives come with blade dispensers. Extra blades in blade dispensers are available from Lee Valley. For more information, go to leevalley.com. According to Fine Woodworking magazine, Red Rose Reproductions has introduced some new high-quality dividers. They feature quick adjustments using a friction hinge. They hold position without unintentional movement. They're made from 4140 pH, a pre-hardened alloy. The dividers come with extremely sharp tips. They come in 2 sizes, 5-inch and 6-inch. An optional compass adapter is available. For more information and to see some other high-quality hand tools, go to redrosereproductions.com. DFM Toolworks has introduced their new 12-sided brass chisel hammer mallet. Yes, that's a strange name. It comes in 2 versions, raw aluminum and black anodized. These hammer mallets have 12-ounce brass heads and 8-ounce aluminum handles. The balance point is centered 1/2 inch below the head in your palm. Go to dfmtoolworks.com for more details. These hammer mallets are also available on amazon.com. I recently rediscovered the Fine Woodworking magazine blog. A blog from Bill Pavlak dated March 22, 2022 caught my attention. He titled it, New Shops and Old Movies. In the blog, Bill discusses how we decide what's important in our workplaces, what's too much, and what's not enough. This is a struggle I go through constantly out of my workshop, but recently, as I set up a new workstation for my computer, I went through it there as well. In his blog, Bill shares his journey of being a woodworker on his patio in Texas to where he is now, a professional woodworker. Bill writes, "Is my shop a place of woodworking dreams? No, not even close. But it's a great place for me to make furniture, and that's what matters. Was the work to get here worth it? Yes, absolutely." In addition to working out of his current workshop at home, Bill Pavlak is also one of the woodworkers at the Anthony Hay Cabinet Maker Shop in Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia. A second blog I found very interesting was one from Vic Teslin for March 14, 2022, titled, Are You a Shop Tweaker? Vic states, I've observed and participated in a strange phenomenon that occurs in most woodshops. I call it the perpetual shop tweaking. My non-woodworker partner, Andrea, commented the other day as I was fussing yet again with my shop scale drawing. You never seem to be happy with your shop layout. Why is that? Vic relates how a new table saw he got from a friend is keeping him awake at night. That's partly due to lack of space and also the fact he has this track saw set up already in his shop. Vic states these are some of the things that woodworkers toil over that non-woodworker couldn't possibly understand. Many woodworkers I know say the questioning and tweaking will never end, and I tend to agree. In addition to what Vic stated, I must add here that I also constantly tweak my shop. How about you? Do you constantly tweak your shop? Tell us in the comments below what your latest tweak was. Vic Teslin operates Vic Teslin Woodworks out of Canada. He travels all over the world, or at least he did before the pandemic. He's an excellent woodworker, writer, and teacher. Check out his website, victeslinwoodworks.com. My favorite podcast is Fun Woodworking's Shop Talk Live. It's normally a bi-weekly podcast. Due to the pandemic, the podcast has been recorded in remote locations, which has added greatly to their prior format when they just recorded in an office. The episode I'm mentioning here is number 262 for March 25th, 2022. It includes Vic Teslin from his shop in Canada, Ben Strano from his shop in Connecticut, as well as the editor of Fine Woodworking magazine, Mike Pekovich, in his Connecticut home. As they start out talking, the guys are talking about old tool restoration. Vic mentioned the triangle that's necessary for getting things like this done. You need equal portions of knowledge, time, and money. Personally, I think that this triangle relates to just about everything we do in woodworking, not just restoring old tools. I don't know about you, but for me, time and money are the difficult parts. Though after watching some of my videos, some of you might say that knowledge is missing sometimes too. In this edition of the podcast, they discuss turning the woodworking hobby into a profession. Since that's essentially what Vic has done, he has a lot to add to this discussion. Ben talks about his side business, furniture restoration. In this podcast, they usually answer questions from listeners. The first of these relates to what is necessary for flat and square wood. The second listener question involves advice on cutting dovetails in thinner wood. Also, as part of this podcast, they discuss smooth moves, favorite tools, or favorite techniques, and other related topics. This is always an interesting part of the podcast, and I often learn a lot from it. If nothing else, I hear about the struggles and solutions from woodworkers who are far more experienced than I am. A third listener question asks about accurate crosscuts on the table saw and flattening. He wants to know how accurate he needs to be. Vic states that 150 years ago, they made very fine furniture without the measuring tools we have today. The Shop Talk Live podcast can be found on YouTube, where I usually catch it, on the Fine Woodworking website under videos, where you can also find photos and notes related to the podcast, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Well, according to Fortune magazine, we're in another lumber bubble. This graph shows the current condition of lumber prices and the current bubble as of February 2022. It covers both the futures price and the cash price. Neither one looks good for consumers. The article states that shipments are starting to increase again in British Columbia now that the mudslides and flooding caused by the record rainfall in November are in the rearview mirror. A number of mills in British Columbia have recently announced production curtailments, not because they are not making money, but they are running out of room to store finished inventory as production outpaces shipping. Industry insiders say a price correction could come once warmer weather allows rail cars in British Columbia, the epicenter of North American lumber, to run faster and more frequently. That will allow more supply to hit the market and should reduce the panic by home builders and lumber yards alike. An article in Newsweek titled "Why Are Lumber Prices So High? Are They Going Down in 2022?" states that it's understandably hard to predict how the lumber market will progress, whether the prices will settle or continue to develop in peaks and troughs. Most experts agree that the price will continue to be dictated by demand. Experts say lumber prices will settle once demand slows. We will see prices fall with better logistics, but because of logging, the market will never be able to keep pace with rising demand. Prices will come down as we get closer to summer, but there will still be a risk of going back up if demand picks up. I'd like to add a more personal note to the Woodworking News this time around. As many of you know, Pam and I are really involved in showing our Basset Hounds an AKC conformation. And back in 2020, we brought Emmy out from Florida. In fact, her breeder brought her out here, flew out here with her and some other puppies. Well, Emmy's been doing really well with Pam in the ring, and here are some of her latest wins. Pam's been showing our young girl Emmy. In February at the Silver Bay Kennel Club show, Emmy completed the requirements for her AKC championship. She's now officially champion Tradewinds Tropical Edition at Wobegon. At the Kennel Club of Beverly Hills show, Emmy was fourth in the National Owner Handled Series Hound Group. These groups are for owners who show their own dogs. Then at the Cabrillo Kennel Club show, Emmy was third in the National Owner Handled Series Hound Group. At our most recent show, the Basset Hound Club of Southern California Specialty Show, Emmy was best of opposite sex to best of breed. Best of breed was a male, and she was best of breed owner handled. Best of breed was shown by a professional handler, so wasn't eligible for that award. As you can tell, I'm excited about Emmy's wins and how well she's been doing in the show ring along with Pam. They've been making a good team in the show ring. A year ago, Pam could barely show her and keep all 4 feet on the ground at the same time. So she's really improved since then. Right now, we're really in the middle of the Southern California dog show season, and so it's been taking away some of my shop time. Well, that's it for this edition of the Woodworking News. I greatly appreciate your watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up down below and share the video with your friends. I'm sure there's some people out there that you know that might be interested in knowing what's going on in the woodworking community and what kinds of machines are available today.